Hi everyone, let's talk about Mistfall Chronicles of Frost, which again is on Kickstarter, and you can go into the description to click the link and see everything that's on the campaign page, everything that's going to change in the final product and the stretch goals and things, all in that campaign page I expect. But I really enjoyed this. It's a really nice, quick, it's not really got a crazy amount of deck building in it. It's got a good amount, but the way that it takes the kind of feel of Mistfall, but really it's a much simpler game, no question about that. But it's still got a lot of really interesting decisions with quite, in a very small box with not that many cards, and it being a competitive game, it's got an extra element of, as well as you're trying to think of what to do with your cards, where do you spend your skill tokens, when do you exert yourself, because if you exert yourself too much, then you're going to be stuck in the middle of nowhere and not having any cards, so you're going to have to come back and waste some turns, coming back to the inn and then healing there for a couple of turns. While you're considering all of that, you've got to consider, like, as it happened right at the beginning of the playthrough, I think, when I couldn't put a new location out. Marty could, but then he didn't really want to kill the monster just yet. But if he'd left the monster, I probably could have killed it. You always have to think of, in the decisions that I'm making, am I helping my opponent? Because if you give your opponent an enemy to kill, then it's not only going to give them points at the end of the game, but potential to unlock a card, or potential to give them some resolve to spend to help them get better cards and really progress. And that comes in with the locations as well, because you are restricted to this 5x5 grid, which always has the inn in the center. You're restricted as to how you can place a lot of the things. You have to be wary, especially as the game goes on. You can see, where people's exploration quests are, where they need to get to on the map. So you don't really want to put locations there and help them out. And you kind of know the types of locations they're going to need as well. Or maybe a rest ability that would be really nice for them, that would let them get another one of their skill tokens, for example. So that would affect, which locations you choose when you get to choose from two or more of the location cards. You want something that helps you and hopefully doesn't help the people that you're playing against. And also where you put them. You're restricted in your adjacency to the card that you're on, but if you're on this card and your opponent's on this card, you probably don't want to put the card there and give them a path, to an easier path to a location they need, maybe, or a power they need. There is really a surprising amount to think about in, as I said, quite a small amount of cards. And I really enjoy. There are a couple of other games that have had this idea, a couple of other deck builders that have had the idea of, you are using your cards and you want them, and you really want to combo these so you can get a lot of scout or a lot of attack or something in one go, but at the same time you are always thinking about getting rid of them from your deck, because thinning out your deck and trashing cards is necessary in a lot of deck builders. But in games like, off the top of my head, it's Valley of the Kings or Dale of Merchants, they had different ways of doing it. But this idea of, you desperately want the cards and use their abilities, but if you retire them, they will be worth a lot more points. And the kicker with that is that the really useful cards that are worth maybe one more point than a standard card that you've bought, this one, it's 2 for buying it, but if you put it in your Chronicle, you don't get this amazing power anymore, but you're going to get 5 points. If you can do that with a lot of these powerful cards, that is so many points. Again, you've got to balance out how much is it restricting you in just playing the game and trying to do powerful things round by round, versus how many points is it going to gain you at the end of the game, judging how close is the end of the game, because it can be triggered by all of the locations being put out and no enemies being on the map, or one of the offer piles, one of the piles of cards is empty, or, as we saw in the playthrough, if someone manages to complete both of their quests. So you are juggling all of these things, and it has been a really fun experience, as well as quite a I've forgotten all of my words. It's had quite a lot of deep decisions that that is really good in a game with such, as I said, such a small amount of cards has generated, and you know, not that many powers to learn. It's quite quick to just get you going. You know, it's a lot of it is just on this player aid. The actions generally use one symbol. I think Scouts uses a couple because you can either spend it to get new locations or get new cards. But yeah, it was generally quite simple to get off the ground. You know, all of the things that the locations do are fairly simple, and once you get going, it is really, really fun. And the order that things come out, or what you have decided to bring out, can really change things up, because we didn't realise until the very end of our game, pretty much the very end of our first game, that there were locations that let you get new skill tokens, because they just didn't come out. We had gotten them from our quests, I believe, but all of these just happened to be near the bottom, and we hadn't been spending that many scout points to get them out. So when we realised that, you know, if they came out right at the beginning of the game, and you could go over and get, you know, maybe all different kinds of skill tokens, then every card is attractive to you then, and you'll be able to more easily unlock the power of, you know, any card, no matter the symbol. Or, as happened a little bit in this game, we didn't get many skill tokens, but you know, I had bought tons of cards that needed my my particular skill symbol, and then I bought so many of them that once I got another one of those skill tokens, it just made me able to do more and more powerful things, because I could unlock 2 of my cards without exerting myself. And you know, that is just, that can really spiral if you can keep getting more of those tokens and just keep activating all of the powers of these things without needing to exert yourself. Then you don't have to worry about, you know, getting the cards that can heal you, or returning back to the inn, which is always a nice, useful thing to do. But to be able to just stay out as long as you want, going where you want, just trying to accomplish your quest, is a really great thing as well. But anyway, I think I am in danger of repeating myself. I really, really enjoyed this, but as always, you know, the playthrough is there for you to, you know, make your mind up. Hopefully there weren't too many mistakes in it, and you can go and check out the campaign page, because it is live on Kickstarter right now. That is Mistfall's Chronicles of Frost. Thanks everyone, and see you for the next game. Bye.